2 years ago, Maya lived a quiet life in a small town. She worked hard every day, taking care of her family and doing her best to live honestly. Maya was known by her neighbors as a kind and friendly woman. She never caused trouble and always helped when someone needed it. Her life was simple, but full of hope. One evening, after finishing her work, Maya went to the grocery store. It was late, and the streets were mostly empty. She parked her car in a quiet area and walked inside. She picked up the things she needed quickly because she wanted to get home to her children. Maya paid for her groceries and left the store. As she walked back to her car, she noticed a police car parked nearby. At first, she thought nothing of it. But then the police officer got out of the car and came toward her. The officer's name was Harris. He was known in town as someone strict, but many people also whispered that he didn't treat everyone fairly. When he reached Maya, he asked her a few questions. Maya answered politely, explaining that she was just at the store.
Oh.
But Officer Harris looked at her with suspicion. He said he had reports about a crime that happened nearby and thought Maya might be involved. Maya was surprised and confused. She knew she had done nothing wrong. She told the officer that she had no connection to the crime, but Harris did not. Listen carefully. Instead, he said she needed to come with him to the police station. Maya tried to explain again, but the officer insisted. She felt scared but also angry because she knew she was innocent. At the police station, Maya waited for hours. She was questioned many times about the crime she did not commit. The officers kept asking the same questions, hoping she would say something wrong. Maya stayed calm, answering truthfully every time. But Officer Harris seemed determined to find a way to blame her. Maya's family was worried. They tried to call the police station to check on her. Her children did not understand why their mother had not come home. Her husband stayed awake all night, waiting for any news. The whole family felt helpless and afraid. After a long night, the officers finally released Maya, but they did not say sorry or explain why she was arrested. For her, Maya's clothes were dirty, and she felt tired and sad. She returned home quietly, hoping to forget the terrible night. However, Maya soon noticed that things were changing. Some people in the town looked at her differently. Whispers followed her when she walked down the street. At work, her coworkers asked questions that made her uncomfortable. Even some friends began to distance themselves. Maya felt alone, even though she had done nothing wrong. She tried to keep her head up and focus on her family, but deep inside, she felt hurt. Being arrested wrongly made her doubt herself. She wondered why the police did not listen to her side of the story. She asked herself if anyone would believe her. Maya decided she could not stay silent. She wanted to fight for justice not only for herself, but for others who might face the same unfair treatment. She began writing down everything that happened that night. She talked to lawyers and learned about her rights. She gathered evidence to prove she was innocent. The road was not easy. Some people told her to forget and move on. Others warned her that fighting the police could make things worse, but Maya was strong. She knew she had to stand up for what was right. She spoke at local meetings, telling her story to anyone who would listen. Slowly, people started to support her. A few neighbors came forward with kind words. Some community leaders promised to look into the case. Maya's courage inspired others who had faced similar problems to share their stories. The town began to realize that this was not just about one woman, but about fairness and respect for everyone. Through it all, Maya never stopped believing that truth would win. The memory of that night, the fear, the unfairness, stayed with her, but it also gave her the strength to fight for change. She learned that even when the world feels against you, standing up with courage can make a difference. Maya's life after the arrest was not the same. She had lost some peace, but she had found a new purpose. She worked harder to protect her family and to help others who suffered from injustice. Her story was just beginning, and she was ready to face whatever came next with a brave heart. After Maya was released from jail, life did not become easier for her. Even though she was free, the wrongful arrest left a deep mark on her life. She found herself facing many new problems she had never expected. Her job was at risk because some people in her workplace began to doubt her character. Her coworkers started to whisper and look at her in a different way. This made Maya feel very lonely and sad. She had always been proud of her hard work and honesty, but now she worried that others saw her as someone guilty. Her family was also affected. Maya's children asked questions they did not fully understand, and her husband tried to comfort her but could only do so much. The small town where they lived was a place where news traveled fast, and soon many people knew about her arrest. Some neighbors were kind and supportive, but others avoided her, as if the wrongful arrest had changed who she was. Maya struggled to keep her spirit strong for her family, but inside she felt the weight of pain and worry. Determined not to be crushed by this unfair situation, Maya started to gather proof of her innocence. She kept every paper, wrote down what happened, and remembered every detail from the night she was arrested. She met with a lawyer who listened carefully and told her that she had a strong case. The lawyer explained that wrongful arrests were more common than people thought, especially in towns where some officers treated people unfairly. Maya realized she was not alone, and that many others had also been hurt by the same problem. Maya began to speak out. She contacted the police department to file a complaint against Officer Harris. She wanted the department to know that what happened to her was wrong and that the officer had acted unfairly. At first, the police did not respond quickly. Some officers ignored her complaint, and the department seemed to protect Officer Harris. Maya felt frustrated, but refused to give up. She then reached out to local government officials and community leaders. She told them her story clearly and asked for help. At public meetings, Maya spoke with calm but firm words. She explained how a single wrongful arrest had changed her life and why police must be held responsible when they make mistakes. More people began to listen. Some members of the community started to stand by her side, believing in her courage and honesty. Maya also connected with others who had faced similar experiences. She joined groups where people shared stories of unfair treatment by the police. Together, they supported one another and worked to raise awareness. Maya learned about the power of community and how many voices could bring change. She found comfort in knowing she was not alone and that her fight was part of something bigger. Through her efforts, Maya's story began to reach local newspapers and radio stations. Reporters interviewed her and told the town about the wrongful arrest and her brave fight for justice. The media attention helped more people understand the problem. It also made it harder for the police department to ignore her complaint. Officer Harris faced questions about his actions, and the department started an internal review. While all this was happening, Maya faced many personal challenges. She felt tired from fighting alone most days. Sometimes, people treated her badly when they saw her on the street. The memories of jail nights came back often, making her anxious. But Maya kept going, because she knew her fight was important. Her family gave her strength, reminding her why she must continue. Maya's courage inspired others in the town to speak up. People who had suffered in silence began sharing their own stories of unfair arrests or mistreatment. The town's conversations changed. More citizens demanded that the police act fairly and respect everyone. The community started to work together to make sure no one else would face what Maya had gone through. The police department, feeling pressure, promised to improve training for officers about respect and fairness. New policies were discussed to prevent wrongful arrests. Maya took part in meetings about these changes, hoping they would protect future victims. She felt proud that her struggle helped create hope for others. Despite the hard road, Maya never lost her kind heart. She continued to help her neighbors, volunteered at local events, and stayed connected with her family. The wrongful arrest had tested her, but it did not break her. Instead, it gave her a new purpose to stand up not only for herself, but for justice everywhere. Maya's story showed that even when life feels unfair and difficult, courage and determination can bring light to the darkest places. Her fight for justice was far from over, but she now knew she was strong enough to face whatever came next. The woman who was once wrongly jailed became a symbol of hope, inspiring many to believe in truth and fairness again. One bright afternoon, 2 years after that painful night, Maya decided to go to the local shopping mall to buy some clothes for her children. The mall was not far from her home, and she often visited it when she wanted to take a break from the usual routine. This time, she hoped to find some good deals and maybe enjoy a little time for herself. After finishing her shopping, Maya walked toward the parking lot where she had parked her car. The sun was shining, and the parking lot was busy with people coming and going. She felt a small sense of peace as she held the shopping bags and thought about the dinner she would cook for her family. Life had been tough, but moments like these gave her comfort. Suddenly, Maya noticed a familiar figure standing a few feet away, near a car. It was Officer Harris, the very same man who had arrested her wrongfully 2 years ago. At first, he did not recognize her. He was looking around, seemingly unaware of the people nearby. Maya's heart began to beat faster. Memories of that night rushed back, the fear, the pain, and the injustice. But this time, Maya did not feel scared. She had changed. She was no longer the frightened woman who was powerless. Officer Harris's eyes met hers, and for a moment his face showed surprise and confusion. It was clear he now remembered who she was. The air in the parking lot suddenly felt heavy. People nearby noticed the tension between the two. Maya took a deep breath and stood her ground. She looked at Officer Harris calmly, but with firm eyes. She wanted him to understand that she was not the same person he had once arrested unfairly. Words were exchanged between them. Officer Harris tried to speak first, but Maya interrupted him gently, saying she had waited long enough for justice. She told him she knew what he had done, and she was tired of his silence and the pain he caused her. The conversation quickly grew heated as years of hurt and frustration spilled out. Both of them stood firmly, unwilling to back down. Suddenly, Officer Harris stepped closer, speaking loudly and with anger. Some people nearby started to watch closely, feeling uneasy about what might happen next. Maya's heart pounded, but she did not move back. She had prepared herself for this moment. She knew she had to be strong, not just for herself, but for all the people who had suffered like her. The argument quickly became physical. Officer Harris tried to grab Maya's arm, but she shook him off. She used her strength and years of determination to push him away. Surprising everyone, Maya then used a quick move she had learned from self-defense classes she had taken after her arrest. With one swift motion, she knocked Officer Harris to the ground. He was stunned and fell unconscious right there in the parking lot. The scene shocked everyone. People gasped and quickly gathered around. Some called for an ambulance and the police. Maya stood back, breathing hard but calm. She did not want to hurt anyone, but she also would not allow herself to be harmed again. The woman who had once been powerless had now taken control of her story. As the sirens arrived, the parking lot filled with officers and medical staff. Maya cooperated fully, explaining everything that had happened. She told them about the wrongful arrest, the pain it caused her, and how Officer Harris had tried to intimidate her again. The officers listened carefully, and some seemed surprised to hear this side of the story for the first time. The ambulance took Officer Harris to the hospital. Maya stayed to give her statement and answer questions. Despite the stress of the situation, she felt a deep sense of relief. She had faced her past without fear and stood up for herself. The community around the mall was buzzing with whispers and quiet applause for her courage. News of the incident spread quickly through the town. People talked about how Maya had shown strength in a difficult moment. Many who had doubted her before began to see her in a new light. Others who had faced similar struggles felt inspired to stand up for their rights. Maya's story was no longer just about pain, but about power, justice, and hope. For Maya, this moment was both an end and a beginning. She had confronted the man who had caused her so much pain and shown that she was not broken. She also knew the road ahead was still long. She hoped that this event would bring real change. It's not just for her, but for the whole community. That day in the parking lot marked a turning point. Maya's bravery became a symbol that even in the darkest times, people can find their strength. She proved that standing up for yourself is not only necessary, but can lead to new respect and fairness. The woman once wrongfully jailed had taken control of her life once more, and nothing would stop her now. After the incident in the parking lot, the whole town seemed to be talking about Maya and Officer Harris. The news spread quickly through local newspapers, radio stations, and even social media. People were shocked to learn that a woman who had been wrongfully arrested had the courage to stand up to the very officer who had hurt her. Some called it a brave act of justice, while others said it showed the power of truth and strength.
Ow.
Many people began to support Maya openly. Friends and neighbors who had once been quiet started to speak out. They shared their own experiences or told others why they believed Maya. A group of community members came together to organize meetings and discussions about police behavior and fairness. They wanted to make sure that no one else in the town would face such unfair treatment. Local leaders also paid attention. Mayor and police chief held special meetings to address the growing concerns. The police department began an official investigation into Officer Harris's actions, not only about the recent parking lot incident, but also about Maya's wrongful arrest 2 years before. The investigation was serious, and many officers promised to review their rules and training. This was a sign that the community's voices were making a difference. At the same time, some people still had mixed feelings. A few said Maya had taken things too far by knocking out the officer, but many more believed her actions were understandable because she had suffered so much. The conversation in the town showed that people were beginning to think more deeply about justice, respect, and equality. Maya herself felt a mixture of emotions. She was glad that her story helped bring attention to a serious problem. She was proud to have inspired others to speak up. But she also knew this was not the end. There was still much work to do to heal the community and to build trust between citizens and the police. With support from the community, Maya started to work with local organizations that helped victims of injustice. She shared her story at schools, community centers, and town halls. Her goal was to teach others about their rights and to encourage people to stand against unfair treatment. Maya wanted everyone to know that courage could change lives and bring hope. Meanwhile, the police department introduced new training programs for officers. These classes focused on respecting people's rights, understanding different cultures, and handling situations without bias. Many officers said they learned a lot and promised to improve their work. Maya felt hopeful that future encounters between police and citizens would be better. The town also created a special committee to watch over police actions and to listen to community concerns. This group included members from different backgrounds to make sure everyone's voice was heard. Maya joined the committee to help guide its work. She wanted to make sure that the changes were real and lasting. At home, Maya found peace in the small changes she saw around her. Neighbors greeted her with smiles, and people who once avoided her now said hello. Her family was proud of her courage and the way she helped the town grow stronger. The children learned an important lesson about standing up for what is right. Though the past had been painful, Maya's heart was full of hope for the future. She knew the road to true justice was long and sometimes difficult. But she believed that when people came together with honesty and courage, real change could happen. Maya's story became more than just her it became the story of a community learning to be fairer and kinder. It showed that no matter how hard life gets, standing up for yourself and others can bring light to even the darkest places. The woman who had been wrongfully jailed was now a leader, a teacher, and a symbol of hope. Her journey was not finished, but Maya was ready. She would keep working for justice, for fairness, and for a world where no one would have to suffer like she did. Her strength had changed the town, and her courage would inspire many more for years to come. After the changes in the town and the new attention on police behavior, Maya's life slowly began to take a new shape. Though she still remembered the hard days when she was wrongfully jailed, she now had a stronger purpose. Maya became more than just a victim. She became a voice for many people who had suffered quietly. Maya started working with local groups that helped people who faced injustice. She visited schools to talk with young people about the importance of fairness and respect. She shared her story in a way that made others feel hope and courage. Words touched many hearts. Teachers and parents said that her talks helped their children understand how to stand up for what is right and treat others kindly. At community centers, Maya helped organize meetings where people could share their experiences safely. These meetings became a place where many found support and friendship. The townspeople began to see that problems like wrongful arrests were not just personal, but connected to bigger issues. Courage encouraged people to work together to build a better future. Her work did not stop there. Maya joined efforts to help change laws and rules about police actions. She spoke with city officials and lawmakers, explaining why clear rules and strong oversight were needed. She believed that, with better laws, no one else would suffer as she had. Some changes were slow, but Maya stayed patient and hopeful, knowing every step mattered. At home, Maya's family grew stronger. Her children saw their mother not just as a parent, but as a hero who fought for what was right. Her husband supported her every step of the way, proud of her bravery and kindness. Together they found joy in simple things: family dinners, school, events, and quiet evenings at home. Maya felt peace in these moments, knowing she was helping create a safer and fairer world for her family. The police department also changed. Many officers took the new training seriously and worked hard to improve how they treated people. Some apologized to Maya and others who had been hurt by unfair actions. The department began to listen more to the community's concerns and worked to build trust. While there was still work to do, the relationship between police and town residents started to improve. Maya's story became known beyond her town. Other communities invited her to speak, and her experience helped inspire change in many places. She received letters and messages from people who said her courage gave them hope. Maya understood that her pain had turned into something powerful. She was helping heal not only her town, but also others facing similar struggles. Though Maya's journey was long and sometimes hard, she never lost faith in justice and kindness. She learned that even when life feels unfair, standing up with courage can change the world bit by bit. Her story showed that one person's voice matters and that hope can grow from the darkest moments. Maya's life was full of meaning now. She was a mother, a fighter, and a teacher. She believed that everyone deserved respect and fairness, no matter who they were. Her past had shaped her, but it did not define her. Instead, it gave her the strength to keep moving forward and to help others find their own strength. In the end, Maya became a symbol of hope for her community and beyond. Her story reminded everyone that even when wrongs happen, the fight for justice and kindness can lead to healing and a brighter future. Maya's courage, her voice, and her heart made a difference that would last for many years to come.